Okay, so let's talk about applique, which literally means you are applying one piece of fabric to another. I'm going to start by showing you how to do a whip stitch applique. So you're going to come up from the bottom, just like before. Make sure you come through both layers of the fabric. Pull all the way until your knot hits your fabric. And then you're going to scoop up from the bottom and just like before, you walk up the fabric. Okay, we scoop up the fabric. Okay, and it whips around the outside. So instead of going from the bottom up, like you did when you first learned, you're joining the two pieces together, still coming from the bottom of the purple, but it's attaching the beige. Okay, so that would be how to applique using a whip stitch. If we were going to do a running stitch, okay, you would start by coming up from the bottom. Got a little knot there. Remember, when you get knots, just pull gently till it goes away. Okay, so we come up from the bottom. See, my thread's coming out of the front. And you can do just like before. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Okay, pull nice and slow. When your threads bunch like that, that's your clue that something's not right. So slow down. Okay, and then I applique using the running stitch. When you get to the corner, okay, make sure that your thread is coming out in the corner just like this is, and then you can change direction and go to the next side. When you are appliquing two pieces, make sure your needle is going through both layers. Okay, it's thick, and if you miss a layer, it's not going to attach. Okay, so there's a whip stitch, or I'm sorry, a running stitch applique. Now let's talk about the back stitch. Okay, back stitches, just like before, you'd come up from the bottom, so your thread would be coming out the top. A back stitch is like a back flip. Okay, so what I do is I take my needle and I'm going to scoop up the thread or the fabric. Okay, my thread's separated. I'm going to put my needle back down where my last stitch ended. You see that? And I'm going to scoop up again. And what ends up happening is now you have what looks like running stitches, but they're connected to each other. They're touching end to end. Okay. All right, now I have back stitches. I got caught on my needle there. And I was able to turn the corner by just coming up on the side I wanted to start on. Okay. Back stitches are great because they create a continuous line down your project and hold it in place. Okay. See how it's making what looks like a continuous line? These are also great if you wanted to do like a mouth or eyelashes or something like that. So see how it goes around the corner of my project? Nice solid line. So I just did a half a back stitch just then and came out on the back. And then you can do your tie-offs just like you've been doing. So you sew underneath the thread, close the loop, and sew through it. Okay? The very last one, if you wanted to do it, would be a blanket stitch, and you can absolutely backstitch with or applique with a blanket stitch. Okay, so you're going to do a whip stitch just like you did, where you scoop up, and then before you close it, you sew through. Okay, before you close it, sew through. The only thing about appliquing like this with the back stitch or with the blanket stitch, it's a little bit harder to get your thread lined up on top. You have to be really meticulous. So if you're not super detail oriented, trying to applique with a blanket stitch while it looks awesome may not be the best use of your skills. You might want to do more of your appliquing using whip stitches or running stitches, and then save the blanket stitch for your edge pieces. Okay? And just like before, remember when you're doing your appliques, you'll be doing those before you connect the pieces together. So all of your tie-offs will just be on the back side of the top of the body. Okay, so no one will see them. There you go. Applique.